What is going on, guys? This is a collaborative narration between me and my friends. So before we start, here is a warning. Some people may find content within this video disturbing. Listeners' discretion is advised. With that said, let's move on. So depending on how much you actually use the internet, you might know of something called the deep web. Pretty much you can use a proxy service like Tor or I2P and find all kinds of stuff you wouldn't normally find, like places to buy guns or drugs. Anyways, I was browsing an Ask Reddit thread about weird stuff on the internet, and a few people mentioned onion sites. Interested by all this, I decided to download Tor and look up a list of sites to visit. I found one site advertised as a black market. I thought this was pretty cool, so I decided to browse around. People were selling meth, guns, hits on other people, and stolen goods. I was about to leave, but then a post titled "Free for You" caught my eye. I clicked on the thread and all the post said was "lots of fun for you, free DL, enjoy." Below the text was a link to a file called fun.zip. Now keep in mind, it was like 2 a.m. and I was really bored. So I downloaded the file and ran it through a few virus scans. Nothing came up, so I decided to unarchive it. Inside were lots of pictures and videos. I decided to click on one called bananaman.avi and watched it. Not too much to it. Just some guy in a banana suit for 4 minutes. I was interested enough to keep on going, so I clicked on a picture called steven.jpg. It was just some guy sitting on his computer looking bored. I opened a few more pictures with people's names on them, and they were almost all the same. Just someone sitting at their computer looking bored or doing something like carrying books or walking to the store. I was getting a bit freaked out, but I decided to press on. I watched a couple more videos. One was some kids walking to school. Another was a man reading the newspaper on his couch. I'll skip to the more interesting ones now. Goodnight.avi. Two boys, maybe like 7 or 8, are brushing their teeth in their pajamas. They seem completely unaware of the camera as it is filmed from right beside them. They finish brushing and rush off to bed. For the next 9 hours, it views them sleeping, nothing else. Aimen.avi. A middle-aged man is walking down a dimly lit street during the middle of the night. Again, this person is also completely unaware of the camera. He comes across a teenage girl and begins talking to her. The sound is muffled, but it must be bad due to the growing look of terror on the girl's face. She tries running but gets shoved into the wall by the man. He grabs her phone and backpack and runs off. The video goes on for 4 minutes of the girl sobbing in the street and then ends. Stolen.avi. A teenage couple is seen watching a football game at what is presumably their high school. The game ends and the crowd leaves except for the couple, who decides to remain at the bleachers. Once everyone leaves, the couple kisses a couple of times and then the boyfriend whispers something into the girl's ear. She keeps saying no, but he keeps on saying,
"Come on, man. It'll be fun. All of my friends have done it with their girlfriends."
The girl tries to leave but is grabbed by the boy. At this point, everyone that was at the game has left and the field is mostly dark. The girl's boyfriend slams her against the back of the bleachers and takes off her dress. He begins to violently rape and beat her for the next 15 minutes. The girl has a black and a bloody nose and is sobbing on the ground. Her boyfriend begins to stomp on her head and kick her in the stomach. Some gurgling noises are heard from the girl, but after a couple of more stomps they stop. Her head is completely stomped in, and her clothes are covered in blood. He dumps her body in a trash can behind the bleachers along with his clothes, puts on his PE uniform and walks away. The camera points at the trash can for 15 minutes. Then the video ends. I was completely freaked the hell out and They deleted the archive and decided to go to sleep. I fell asleep almost instantly and didn't have any dreams at all. I went to school and didn't tell anyone about it. Lots of people asked me why I looked so freaked out. I just said I was kind of on edge because I didn't sleep a lot last night. I was beginning to think that I had just had a nightmare and was taking things too seriously. After lunch though, I felt my phone vibrate. It was a text from a number listed as unknown, saying, "You like?" I tried to call it, but I always just got a busy signal. I figured it was just a wrong number and didn't let it bother me. Things were pretty normal for a few days until Thursday came around. I got another text from unknown, except this time it has a picture. It was a picture of me in my third-hour class. I instantly freaked out and went on a computer to try to find the post I saw Sunday night. I looked everywhere, but the thread was nowhere to be found, and no one was talking about it. More pictures started rolling in, some were of me, some were of others, my friends, family, and some people that I don't even knew. I went to the police and they said that they would try to trace the number, but they considered it low priority, so it would take a couple of days. I texted all my friends asking me if they were playing some kind of messed up joke on me. No answer. I tried calling them and it just went on straight to voicemail. I decided I would just go home and log into my browser history to find the post, so I just called my mom. Again, just straight to voicemail. Even though I live pretty far from the police station, I decided to run home like my life depended on it. I got home and turned on my computer and just saw one file, morefun.zip. With great fear, I opened up the file and inside were pictures and videos of all my friends and family being tortured and mutilated. Images of my mom with her eyes ripped out and impaled on sharp metal rods, my friends with their jaws ripped off, fingers cut off and jammed into their eyes, and videos of them being burned alive. I was going to call the police, but one more image caught my eye. It was entitled hello.jpg, created about 15 seconds ago. It was me looking at the images with a man with blood-splattered clothes standing behind me with a camera, smiling.
I started my first year of college in September. The building I'm currently living in is the oldest on campus, and it's really obviously the oldest building on campus. Like old enough that there's a bomb shelter in the basement. The place makes you feel dread the second you step in, not because of any real supernatural force, but like, I shit you not, there's a damn mural right outside my door of people being lynched. Swear to God, this place used to be a black studies hall, and for some reason, they painted a mural of faceless white people lynching black people. I don't understand. This was the first thing I saw upon moving in. Here's a pic of it. Anyway, I'm getting distracted, sorry. The whole place has this constant scent about it that's hard to describe. Actually, scent is the wrong word. I mean like odor. There's an odor that permeates the halls. It's tolerable on my floor, but on the basement floor, it can get ungodly. It smells like rot and body odor. It stinks like how I imagine Christian's room stinks. Moving on, my first night there, I'm hanging out with my roommate Rob. He's playing some shit on his PC, I'm playing on my PS4. We both have our headphones in. Suddenly we hear some slight knocking. I get up, open the door, nobody's outside. I immediately forget this happened. Over the next few weeks, we were woken up several times by knocking late at night. With each occurrence, the knocking gets louder and more disruptive. I assumed it was neighbors messing with us. Then, one night, I realized that the knocking isn't coming from the hall. It's coming from my damn closet. I get up, put on my phone light, and timidly open the door. The thing creaks open to reveal, surprise! Nobody's inside. What the hell, right? Not long after this, we both go home for winter break. When I get back, I find out Rob has moved out, and I now have the whole room to myself. Except I guess I don't. The damn knocking returns in full force. It seriously sounds like a SWAT team is trying to bust through my closet almost every single night. Sometimes I'd wake up to find the doors wide open. I'd also have almost nightly recurring dreams about my closet opening. A creature with impossibly dark skin and twisted, elongated, spider-like limbs would crawl out and skitter up to my ceiling. I'd usually wake up freaked the hell out. The effect this had on my sleeping habits was pretty detrimental for a bit, and one of my upperclassmen friends took notice. I reluctantly told him about the knocking, hoping that he wouldn't just dismiss it as me being a schizo. Instead of thinking I'm crazy, he's just like, wait, what building do you live in again? I tell him. He's silent for a bit. What room? 169, I say. What the hell? He went on to explain that a kid he knew lived in my room and killed himself last year. Like he killed himself in my room. God damn it. At this point, I'm so used to it that I don't care that much anymore. But a while ago, I left my camera running pointed at my closet around the time that the knocking usually starts. I did this so I could have proof and show it to some of my friends. And then I remembered, no sleep is a thing, and thought you might want to see it too. Enjoy!
What the fuck?
Updated after I posted this, some stuff started happening and persisted all night. I got some more stuff on camera too. I put it all together and uploaded it here.
Dear Diary, that's how you're meant to start these things, right? I have never kept a journal before, nor do I want to. But the hospital said I have to, as part of my treatment plan. Funny. Let me backtrack a little. I have always been overweight. From being a child, I went to a strict Christian school. And luckily, because of this, I was never bullied because of my size. But you always notice the other kids staring. It got worse as I got older. I just seemed to expand in all directions except the one way I wanted. So, not only am I fat, but also very short. You can imagine this didn't do too much for my self-esteem. Because of my size, I've always hated gym class at school. Firstly, there's the undressing in front of other beautiful, skinny girls who always glance over at me. God, this is embarrassing to write. I could feel my whole body flare red as I felt their eyes on me. Then, there was the exercise itself. I'd get awful chest pains and couldn't run more than around 100 meters, and wouldn't even attempt real team games. No one would pick me anyway. I tried diets. Every single diet you can imagine. Atkins, cabbage soup, 5-2.2, you name it. I've tried it, but they never work. I always end up caving and getting bigger. Things got really bad 2 years ago. I got really bad chest pains and was rushed to hospital. Doctor said my weight was at dangerous level and that my heart was suffering. I had to change my ways. My parents begged me to change, bought all the right foods, even watched me at meal times. But did I change? No. Still the fat glutton I've always been. I got bigger. I know what you're thinking. Why? Why do this to yourself? Why put not only yourself but also your parents through this? Well, diary, I tell you. It's because I have zero self-control. Obviously, damn, I hate myself. I can't feel my rules. I hate going clothes shopping. Nothing suits me. Sometimes I just sit in bed and cry at how little control I have over my life. 20th March 2015. Sorry, diary. Forgot to date it last time. But it's been about 3 weeks. I got put in hospital again with chest pains. Doctor told me off. I saw psychologists about my weight problem. Other than that, nothing much to report. Still a fatty. Always will be probably. I'll update you when I've lost a few pounds. We may be a while.
Hello, people. I'm the father of Ella. My family are devastated and going through a very difficult time at the moment, as my daughter passed away last week. She had suffered with anorexia nervosa for many years, and in the end her heart couldn't cope anymore and gave up. It is clear reading her diary, which I did not know she kept until I had the opportunity to look in her bedroom, that she had severe body dysmorphia, believing she was actually overweight. She was 60 pounds exactly when she died. It was a hard decision to make, but I decided to post this diary for others out there who are either suffering themselves with this disease or know somebody that is. Sometimes you just can't see the forest for the trees. I live in Osaka, Japan, and often use the subway to go to work in the morning. One day when I was waiting for the train, I noticed a homeless man standing in a corner of the subway station, muttering to himself as people passed by. He was holding out a cup and seemed to be begging for spare change. A fat woman passed by the homeless man and I distinctly heard him say,
Big.
"Wow," I thought to myself. This homeless man is insulting people and he still expects them to give him money. Then a tall businessman went by and the homeless guy muttered,
Human.
"Human?" I couldn't argue with that. Obviously he was human. The next day I arrived at the subway station and had some time to kill. So I decided to stand close to the homeless guy and listen to his strange mutterings. A thin, haggard-looking man passed in front of him, and I heard the homeless guy mutter,
Cow.
"Cow?" I thought the man was much too skinny to be a cow. He looked more like a turkey or a chicken to me. A minute or so later, a fat man went by, and the homeless man said, "Potato." Potato? I was under the impression that he called all fat people pig. Anyway, that day at work, I couldn't stop thinking about the homeless man and his puzzling behavior. I kept trying to find some logic or pattern in what he was muttering. Perhaps he has some kind of psychic ability, I thought. Maybe he knows what these people were in previous life. In Japan, many people believe in reincarnation. I observed the homeless man many times and began to think my theory was right. I often heard him calling people things like rabbit or onion or sheep or tomato. One day, curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to ask him what was going on. As I walked up to him, he looked at me and said,
Bread.
I tossed some money into his cup and asked him if he had some kind of psychic ability. The homeless man smiled and said,
Yes, indeed. I do have a psychic ability. It is an ability I obtained years ago. But it is not what you might expect. I can't tell the future or read minds or anything like that.
Then what is your ability? I asked eagerly. The ability is merely to know the last thing somebody ate, he said. I laughed because I realized he was right. He said bread, right? The last thing I had eaten for breakfast that day was toast. I walked away shaking my head. Of all the psychic abilities someone could have, that one must be the most useless one. Oh, wait. Something is not right here.